No European football for Red Star Belgrade as they lose 2-0 to Young Boys Bern away from home. So no more Europa League. We knew Champions League was out of the picture before this match even started. So no Europa League. Football is done for Red Star Belgrade in terms of the European scene. Um, Wanted to go through the lineup quickly. This is the best lineup I think that we could have fielded right now, and it was the lineup where there was no players playing out of position. And shockingly, it's probably the best match that Red Star had in this entire Champions League. So the defensive midfielders, you had Mihailovic and Stamenic. You have Huang, who played as more of a offensive midfielder. You had Bukhari on the right wing, Ivanic on the left, NDI up top, and then the rest of the lineup is pretty much what we thought with Dragovic, Juga, Rodic, Nedeljkovic, who got his first start as a 17-year-old, and Glazer in goal. NDI, two chances in the opening minutes. He had a one-on-one with the goalkeeper and a headed chance. Those are the two chances that you have to take, that you have to be able to score. You were the most expensive signing in Red Star history. You have one goal to your name in the Champions League. It was a great pass from Ivanic, the goalkeeper. Young Boys goalkeeper cleared it out. Wasn't a very good kick. Ivanic headed it to NDI, who honestly looked like he didn't get enough of the ball, which is not an excuse. The goalkeeper made a stop with his upper legs, I guess. The second chance was a cross from Huang. It was an excellent cross from the left side, and NDI, I'm not sure why he headed it. He tried to head it off the turf and into the goal. If you're playing on turf, you don't want to do that because the ball more than likely is going to bounce over the net, or it's going to go to the side of the net, which is what happened in this case. That's 2-0. That's 2-0 right there, and you're looking good. Bukhari, again, near post attempt. This time the goalkeeper was smart enough to realize what Bukhari was trying to do. That's exactly how he scored the goal in the first leg. Near post, surprised the goalkeeper, and ended up scoring the 2-2 goal in like the 86th, 7th minute, something like that. And then the one-on-one with the goalkeeper, Bukhari again. I mean, like, I don't know what to say. You're going one-on-one with the goalkeeper, heavy touch, and it completely threw off his complete rhythm. And goalkeeper saved it, and then, I mean, just you can't. Those are the chances that you have to take. Like, those are the chances that you have to take, and he didn't take it. And thought he was very selfish today overall as a player and how he played, and that's something that I wanted to talk about. He's been rumored to be going to Spartak Moscow for an eight-figure deal. He's been very selfish this season, and I think this match was his most selfish one. And it's understandable because Red Stars brought in a lot of players. Everyone's looking to get their own goals, and he's just another guy who's trying to get his own as well. He's been very good in the Champions League, but today he was very selfish. Red Stars concedes two goals off corner kicks. The first one, I mean, it's like the worst case scenario that you can possibly think of. Um, Corner kick on the first post. Ivanic heads it back to the, I believe it was the young boy center back who has a shot on goal from like 3-4 yards out. Goalkeeper saves it, hits Nedeljkovic in the leg and goes into the net. So first start in the Champions League as a 17-year-old, you get a own goal. Welcome to Champions League football, kid. Pretty much what it is. And this is I don't know if I've said this on my vlogs or if I've said it in my podcast, but Champions League is an unforgiving league. You have to be able to score. Red Star had 4 clear-cut chances in the first 7 or 8 minutes of the match. Young Boys have one corner and they score. It's the most unforgiving league. It's the best teams in Europe. This is why it's unforgiving. And you have to be able to score. And we haven't done that for the most part. We've had a lot of chances in this Champions League. We haven't scored enough goals. And we haven't gathered enough points, obviously. So just two really bad goals. And the second goal was, again, from close range where Dragovic tried to block it. The goalkeeper gets a glove on it. If you get a glove on it, you should be able to stop it. And it's in the back of the net. And that was off a corner kick as well. Once the ball got kind of like recycled, reworked, it was pretty much off a corner kick as well. I thought Ivanic was the best player on the pitch today. The 4 chances that happened in the first half were all his balls that he sent through. Just absolute, I mean, just on the plate for all the players. So I thought Ivanic and Nedeljkovic outstanding today. Those are the two guys I point out. I thought Huang was actually very good today, although he catches a lot of flack, and I understand he's the second most expensive player that Red Stars brought in, but he was miles better than NDI, who was subbed off at halftime for Jovan Mijatovic. So like I said, Mijatovic came on in the second half. Two great chances for him. Boy, he had that one headed chance that he missed, and from about 7 or 8 yards out, where he missed the entire net just to the side of the left post. It's those chances they have to bury. And I understand that he's still a young kid, but those are the chances that you have to bury, because in this case we had a lot of chances today, but you have to be able to bury those and to score goals and to cut the lead. And we didn't do that today. He didn't do that today, but it's not his fault. A lot of guys missed chances today. We really had to win this match today. Huang hitting the post as well from about 10, 15 yards out. The goalkeeper, I think, thought that he was actually going to cross it in. And he surprised the goalkeeper because it looked like it was kind of a late reaction from the goalie once he saw that Huang had shot the ball on goal. And it looked like he dove once the ball had already hit the post, which is actually very dangerous as well, because he could very easily have hit him in the back or the hand and gone in. Um, Young boys also had their chances. In the first half, they had their chances. Absolutely. Glazer made one good stop in the first and one in the second. I don't know how many corner kicks they took. Let's say they took 8. I mean, they scored 2 goals off of them, and they created another 4 or 5 half chances from the other corner kicks. It's unbelievable. And this is something that's been talked about in the media, that Brock Bahar goes with more of a man-to-man marking as opposed to a zone. And if that's the case, then this hasn't worked out at all. I mean, every corner kick that they had, I was terrified, and it's been like that entire Champions League. Any team that's had a corner kick, you just didn't feel safe with Red Star defending them, and it's been terrible. And set pieces were a weapon of Red Star in 2, 3 seasons ago, where they scored something like 30 goals. We can't score goals off set pieces anymore at all. We just can't do it. What happens with Bahar going forward? I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised if he does get sacked. Um, I just don't think that he realized, like, it's one thing to tell a guy what the club's expectations are. It's another thing to feel the pressure, and I don't think he realized how much pressure he's really dealing with. There's rumors that he doesn't conduct his training sessions; that it's his staff that conducts training sessions. So there's a disconnect between the players right then and there. He doesn't do much talking when he's on the sidelines. There's a disconnect there. Players have to know what you expect of them. It's different if I have a assistant manager telling me what to do versus my actual manager. I'm going to listen to both guys, but they hold different weight. I have to hear it from my manager to take it a lot more seriously than if I take it from my assistant manager. I understand this is how he does his business. This is how he conducts himself on the sidelines, on the pitch. Like, I get it. This was the whole thing when he brought in his own staff, and this is how it works out for him. And I think with Maccabi Haifa, he didn't want to sign a new contract until his entire staff was taken care of. Completely understand that. Great guy. You should do that if you believe in your staff. But clearly, there's a disconnect between the players and the manager here. And a lot of times, it looks like the players don't know what the hell they're doing out there. That's just my personal opinion. I think a lot of people would agree with me. Um, the players brought in haven't been good enough. From Crasso, and I defend Crasso many times. NDI did absolutely nothing in the first half apart from the 2 missed chances that he had to absolutely score on. You're the most expensive signing. Um, I feel like he's almost better off the bench. Like, if you bring him in as, at a halftime or whatever the case may be. I think he wasn't much better, but Crasso also had a very good chance actually in the second half that he had to bury as well. And the goalkeeper saved. And hats off to the goalkeeper. I thought, apart from that early mistake, he was excellent. He had 2 or 3 really good stops. Really good stops. Without him, Young Boys lose this match without a shadow of a doubt. And it's like their backline kept on giving us chances to score and to take the lead. It's like they kept on giving us the ball and saying, "Go ahead, you guys can score." And we just couldn't do it. And that was evident once I saw that first goal go in, the own goal off Nedeljkovic. There's sometimes in matches there's points where you either miss from 2 or 3 yards out, or you score an own goal that's just like, how did that happen? And that, I felt like that was kind of the moment for me. But I kept on believing because the Young Boys backline isn't that great, so I thought that we would create more chances, and we did throughout the entire match. We just weren't scoring today, and that's just the bottom line. It's a failed season in Champions League. Also, I think that the young players showed a lot. I think Jovan Mijatovic, even though he missed the 2 chances, very lively up top. Even though he's kind of undersized, kind of like a Luka Jovic player, undersized. I thought that Kosta Nedeljkovic, I really thought he was going to be shook, and I wanted to see how he was going to react after the own goal. I thought he was the best player today. Like, I thought he was the best player overall today. a 17-year-old. And like I said, Ivanic, incredible. The 4 through balls and the passes that had to be scored were all through him. And then he got injured. Unfortunately, he had to go off. Who knows what would have happened? I'm not saying we would have won, but it sucks when a player who pulls all the strings has to go off like that in like the 65th minute, whatever it was. It's just unfortunate. And overall, it's just a failed season in Champions League. It's just a failed season. I didn't think that we were going to get to the knockout stages of Champions League, especially in a group like this. But I thought that there was a pretty good chance of going through into Europa League. And I go back to that match against Young Boys at home in Belgrade, where we had to get those 3 points. And I said it. It was on a vlog that I said it. We might look back on this and we might hold our heads and say we had to get this. We had to get these 3 points, especially how that match ended. The last 15, 20 minutes, Young Boys couldn't get out of their own 18-yard box. I mean, Katai 2 or 3 chances. Olainka, Crasso, Bukhari scored, but he had another couple chances. Kwang just whipping the ball in. We had so many chances we couldn't capitalize. And that was the match that, when the schedule came out, you looked at the Young Boys match in Belgrade and you said to yourself, these are the 3 points that you have to get. And then if you could go back to Bern and get at least a point, you're probably off through to the Europa League. We couldn't get it. It's unfortunate, but this is what we deserved. And we didn't play well at all in this Champions League. We couldn't put together an entire match where we played well. When you take a look at the 5 matches, and that's what you get. You have to play a full match, and we haven't played one, and that's what you get. And that's pretty much that. Would love to know what you guys think. Failed season in Champions League or not? I think it's pretty evident that it was. Who was your standout today? Who did you expect from? Just things like that. Let me know in the comments below.